No. Right. Then before we start around there, as usual, I'll just briefly tell what this is. Kumari Jyoti is being interviewed by Colonel Kadam. Colonel Kadam has been deputy at 17 SSB at Bangalore, and it is nice of him that he accepted to undertake the interview in a very short time. Yesterday, I told him he was only available today. So thank you, sir. It's your greatness. As far as Jyoti is concerned, Jyoti is daughter of Sundar Batu Singh from Haldwani, and his father is BSc, retired Sundar Saab. Mother is 12th pass. She has got a younger brother who is studying class 12th. She passed her 10th with 95%, 12th with 70%, BTech with ECE, Electronics Communication, with 58%, and she has finished her MBA with 75%. She is presently working as assistant professor at Jaipur. She has passed NCC certificates. She is a keen cross-country runner and marathon runner. She loves cycling. Interest and hobbies. She has his meditation and other aspects. He has talked about it, which I want her to improve her PIQ, because PIQ itself is not very good. She must really devote time to improve her PIQ, because it doesn't talk about. She has been to SSB 5 times, not recommended twice, and thrice she has been screened out. She has been screened out. Okay, now we all go on the mute mode, and except for Colonel Kadam and Jyoti, we'll all remain mute. We'll note down our points, and at the end of it, we'll try and analyze what has gone right and what not gone right. Okay, am I all audible everywhere? Yes. Okay.
You are.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. I think that we mute ourselves, and we have a right. It's all yours, sir. Colonel Kadam and Jyoti.
Good morning, Jyoti. How are you?
Good morning, sir. Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Good, good. Nice seeing you very smartly dressed, and you have that, everything like we look in a candidate. Right. So we are ready for the interview and we can start?
Yes, sir.
Right. You have stayed for a long time in Phagwara, Jalandhar. Tell me about Phagwara in detail, everything that you know about it.
Sir, I have been in Jalandhar for more than 5 years, and Jalandhar is a beautiful city in the states of Punjab. It is in Punjab, and for reaching to Jalandhar, there are 2 railway stations, Jalandhar and Jalandhar Cant, and Jalandhar is very much known for its sports items that are being given, that are being manufactured and have a wholesale market in football shop. And Jalandhar is also known for a rich heritage culture. There are lots of places to visit near Jalandhar. Like there is a famous Haveli in which the rich culture of Punjabi people are being portrayed in that Haveli. And there is a museum as well, in which all those Punjabi people who have been martyred in the time of independence, their biographies are being there, and their portraits are being there in that particular museum. And from Jalandhar, Amritsar is just few kilometers away, like it's just 1 hour away from Jalandhar, so you can have a visit to Golden Temple as well. Jalandhar is also known for its very famous for its India's topmost private university, lovely professional university. And Jalandhar is it's a good marketing hub, one of the biggest marketing hub in Punjab.
Okay, good. And you have studied in lovely university also.
Yes, sir.
Good. Tell me about that university.
So Lovely Professional University is considered as one of the topmost private university in northern part of India, and it has various courses from technology to fashion designing to business administration. Like each and every courses are being offered in Lovely University. And Lovely University, it is the Lovely brand. Lovely University is not just a Lovely University, but there are several other brands of Lovely. And Lovely University offers student exchange program for various students like to represent in other foreign universities, and it has a special scholarship program for foreigners who are willing to study in Lovely University. And yearly it organizes LPU Nest exam for providing scholarship to students.
Okay. Now we will start with your education background first. Starting with, tell me which all subjects, starting from standard 8, 9th onwards, say, what all subjects you had, what all subjects you like, how many friends did you have in your school, college days, which are your good or best friends, what are the qualities you see in a friend to make him your good friend or best friend, and what all you did together. Tell me about your teachers, the teachers whom you liked the most, why, and your teachers whom you did not care about much, why. Tell me about all the extracurricular activities you did during school days, in school as well as at home, on holidays, weekends, things like that. And your achievements which you think you made during your school, college days.
Okay, sir. So I did my class 9 from Kendra Vidyalaya Mahu, and I got 84% in my class 9. Then in class 10th, I was there in Mahu only, Kendra Vidyalaya Mahu, and I secured 95%. In class 10th, my favorite subject was English and mathematics, and I took PCM in my class 11th and 12th, and I secured 70% marks in my class 12th. And talking about the friends which I have made in my school were Ankita and Lakshmi were they are my bestest friends because we shared common interest, and they were my neighbors as well. So it was we spared quite a good amount of time together. So they were my friends from school. And 11th and 12th, I did from St. Joseph's International School, Kota, Rajasthan. And I secured 70% marks in my class 12. And after class, I was talking about extracurricular activities. If in class 10th and 12th, I was not a very active participant of extracurricular activities, but yes, I have participated in stage events. Like I participated in debate, I participated in quiz competitions, and several assembly programs I participated in. I was not participant in sports, athletics. I was not active in that moment of time. And after class 12, I gave exam of LPU Nest, and I cleared that exam with a good scholarship. And I was selected for LPU University to join BTech in Electronics and Communication Engineering. I secured 58% marks in BTech. When I was in BTech, I was very much into extracurricular activities, athletics, sports, and I was a part of NCC as well. I represented my university in all parallel. I was a part of NCC as well at that point of time, and I was very much involved in organizing and hosting various events in college premises. And after, on the basis of my sports representation, university gave me a very handsome scholarship for post graduation, and it gave me a free hostel facility and with scholarship of 1 lakh per semester for my post graduation. So I went for my post graduation as an MBA, management, masters in business administration, and I secured 75% marks in my MBA. And when I was in the last year of my MBA, I qualified NET UGC examination, and on the basis of that examination, I'm an assistant professor right now. Talking about the friends whom I have made in my college time were Harsha, Divya, Joy, Ujjwal, and Shubham. These are my best friends from my college time. They all are defense aspirants, and now one of them is in the forces, like he's in Navy, and we all are preparing for armed forces only. We as a friends like to explore the nearby restaurants and nearby parks, nearby cafes. We are very fond of all visiting all those places, so we spend our time like this. And talking about the things which I like to do in my leisure activities are, I like, whenever I get time, I go for a long cycling ride, or I visit to nearby restaurants to have a good cup of coffee, because I'm fond of eating and trying all these snacks items and cold drinks. So I go with my friends in those places. And yes, sir.
Okay, good. So 10th you got 95% marks. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And 12th you got?
Yes, sir.
And 12th you got
70.
70% marks. Why this sudden drop of almost 25%?
Yes, sir. So when I was in class 12th, actually after class 10th, my father got transfer in Kota, Rajasthan, and I shifted my school to St. Joseph's International School. And when I was in Kota, I decided to go for IIT coaching classes, and I went for the IIT coaching classes. I prepared myself for the IIT entrance exam, but I think at that point of time, I was not able to manage my time properly with my board exams and the IIT exams, because both the patterns are very different, and I was
Okay,
there
got
was
it.
lack of sincerity
Okay.
from my side towards my.
Got it, got it. Did you analyze yourself why you couldn't make it into IIT? Such a brilliant student, 95%
Yes, sir,
is
because
not.
sir, there was lack of practice in each and every concepts that there are in physics, chemistry, and mathematics, and there was lack of self analysis from my side was there, and there was not proper management I had done with my studies at that point of time.
Right. We will talk about your family background now. Tell me, what all do you do together as family members? How are your relations with your father? Your brother is quite younger to you. How do you interact each amongst yourselves? How do you help your brother? What all you do at home on a working day and on a holiday? Not now since you are working, but for that, what you used to do, right from the time you got up in the morning till time you go to sleep at night. What all you do together? How did you help your dad who was working as a Subedar must be very busy in the army. Army keeps everybody very busy. So how did you help out your family or your dad or your mother at home especially? Tell me all about you did together as family members, and what was your role in it?
Sir, talking about my family, I have one brother and my parents. We as a family like to spend time together. Like whenever there is a weekend, we go to new restaurants, and with my father. Nowadays, actually, he's teaching me driving, and we go for running together because my father is also a very good athlete. So we go for running together early in the morning at around 6:30, and with mother, I like she teaches me cooking, and we always discuss about the things that are for future basically. So we take decisions together as a family, and we spend quite a lot time together. Whenever we are at home, we make sure that we have our meals together, and whenever my father is at home, we make sure to visit a good place together to spend more quality time together. And with my brother, as he's just in class 12th, so I used to teach her. I used to make sure that he understand the good time management, and he should have a good knowledge about prioritizing things in his life. So I teach her, and we go for cycling together, and in the evening time, whenever we get time, we do gardening together. And me and my brother, we both love gardening, so we do gardening together. And whenever we have a lot of time, then we go for cycling together as well. And talking about my how I help my father, like now he's retired one, but when he was in army, we used to spend our evening time together, because at that point only he used to free from his work, and I used to make tea and snacks for him so that he feel good, and we go for evening walk together in the evening time in the cantonment area only. And now my father is retired one. He's an administrative officer in one of the school nearby our house. And nowadays I'm out from my house. I live in Jaipur and they are in Uttarakhand. And as a family, what is you asked about my role. So my role in the family is, whenever I go home, I make sure that the electricity bill and the water bill is being paid by me. And I make sure that my mother do not do a lot of household works all alone, so I help her in it. And I also keeps eye on my brother, like if he's doing right things, like if he's studying in a proper way or not. So yes, I guide him. And with my father, I spend quite a good quality time together, and we go to banks together, and he teaches me quite a good things, like how to finance money, how to make a good budget system in from our salary. And
Right. That's nice
sir, can
hearing.
you
It's okay. Uh, you are very keen to join the army. You have, I think, already gone through 5 SSBs. Your dad was also in the army. Tell me everything that you know about the defense forces and army in particular. Your dad's corps/service. What all they do? How do they do it? What all you learned from the army? Yeah.
So Indian Army is one of the topmost service, prestigious service of India, and it has been ranked under top 3 in the world as well. And talking about Indian Army, its roles and responsibility is to prevent the nation from external aggressions and internal threats. And as I have been born and brought up in the army, I have seen the army from the very first eye only. And my father was in signals, corps of signals. And as in a corps of signals, basically their roles and responsibilities is to deal with the communication system that is taking place in the army. And my father is an operator in signals, so his role was to make sure surveillance, make sure that each and everything should be in a proper way, and if there is any deformity, then he'll be looking after it. And there are other roles and responsibility that my father did when I was in Jaipur only. His posting was in Southwestern Command. So he was responsible for maintaining the other organizations, like the library system, like the canteen systems, and the other departments of the particular corps. He was looking after it, and he was doing the surveillance of those things. Yes, sir. And talking about the Indian Army provides a very, very good edge to a particular individual to represent itself in a individual level and in a national and society level. Indian Army is not just a job; it is a feeling of honor and feeling of pride the one gets. And the Indian Army makes sure that the person who are related to army and who are in army, they all should be get benefited in terms of security, in terms of good pay, in terms of respect. So not only the individuals who are in the army, but also their dependents are being benefited out of it. So I think that this is a very prestigious and a very unique thing about the Indian Army, that it takes responsibility of all those people. And talking about the army area, cantonment area is absolutely very pleasing to our eyes. It's very beautiful. And there are lots of facilities in the army area, like there is a military hospital facility, there is MI room facility, there is a canteen facility, there will be gym facility, there will be swimming pool facility, there will be open gym as well. So there are a lot of facilities, and there are driving schools as well, horse riding classes are there. So lots of facilities are being provided in the cantonment area.
But what have you
And
learned from the
there is,
army?
sir, pardon please, I'm not able to hear you.
What all have you learned from the army, staying in the army cantonments, your dad being in the army? What have you learned?
Sir, I have learned the brotherhood and the unity that the army persons have in together in defense. So it's very good, like they always stay together, they always help each other wherever they go. I mean, after 3 years, obviously our posting will be somewhere else and their posting will be somewhere else. And but we tends to make relations with everyone wherever we go, and we help each other no matter for how long we'll be staying together. So there was a good bond in the army people we have, as in personal. And there's a lot of respect, like if like in cantonment area only, among the army personals, there's a lot of respect for each other they are having. They consider, I mean, there's a unity brotherhood type of a feeling they are having. And not only with the army personals, their wives are having this brotherhood feelings for each other, their children are having the brotherhood feelings for each other. So it makes army makes a family basically wherever they go. So yes, basically selfless service towards everyone, respecting each other, all these things I have learned from army.
Okay. Good. But why not Navy or Air Force?
So for Navy, actually, I tried applying for it through the INET entry, but as I was not eligible, and for FCAT also I was not eligible because of less percentage in class graduation. I got only 58%, and its requirement is 60%. So otherwise, I would have tried for it.
Air Force?
Yes, sir, 60% marks are required for FCAT exam.
Achha, for Air Force?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. You have been doing marathon, cross country, trekking, cycling, all these physical activities. Tell me one of your activities which you or incident which you remember doing all this.
Sir, your voice is breaking in between.
Have you understood my question? You have been doing cross country, marathon, cycling, trekking, correct? Tell me about one of the incidences
Yes, sir.
you can describe, good or bad, whatever it was, which you will remember throughout your life.
So there are lots of incidences when I was in athletics. Like when I was in athletics camp, there were lots of incidences, but in the course of the period only, there was one funny incident, like the very first marathon of mine. It was a very first marathon, and from that only I started doing marathons. It was of 6 kilometers marathon in our college premises only. So on that particular day, my one of the shoelace was open, and everybody behind me was saying that your shoelace is open, just tie it up. And I was like, if I'll be busy on tying it, I'll be losing my time. So I didn't tie my shoes, and I run and I crossed the race. And when I reached there, then those persons who told me previously, they told me again, like, now you can tie the race, now you have won the race, now you can tie your shoes. So yes, that was a quite funny moment. And then I realized that yes, tying your shoes properly before running is very important. And that was my first marathon race of my life basically, and I secured first rank in that. So yes, that was the funny incident I had while the marathon, my first marathon. And the next marathon of 21 kilometers, which I represented my university, it was in Bangalore only. It was in Bangalore. So on that particular day, what happened was, uh, I was feeling very thirsty, but it was my first 21 kilometers marathon, and I was running constantly throughout the path. Throughout the time, I was running constantly, and there were lots of people who were putting sprays on their knees, who were putting sprays on their thighs and legs, and I was the person who was not having anything. Like I was not taking the refreshments as well. I was not taking a sip of a water. But later I realized that I would have taken the water because my body was so drained out after the marathon. So yes, all these small events used to take place. And one time when I was in Chandigarh marathon, it was
Okay,
of
I have understood.
12,
Just
11 kilometers.
One incident was enough, actually. That's okay. Now, where all have you gone for trekking?
Sir, as I'm from Uttarakhand, so there are lots of places. Like I have been to Almora, I have been to Dhuli, and I have been to Manali as well few years back, in Himachal Pradesh, and I have been to Champawat in Uttarakhand only.
The trekking routes I want you to tell me. The route, Manali, though I have also been there, but I never do trekking.
So in Manali, actually, there was one waterfall, and for reaching that waterfall, there is a 3 kilometers track we have to cover. So it was a small, minute track apart from Uttarakhand that I have attended in Himachal Pradesh. And in Uttarakhand only, we live in a city, but my grandparents and my other relatives lives in a proper, hilly part of Uttarakhand. So whenever we go from one place to another, it is a long, good track because there are no road and rail facilities in that particular area. So we have to go, depart from our house early in the morning and we reach there till afternoon. So yes, that type of trekking I was talking about.
Okay, right. Now that you are an assistant professor in a college or university, you must be getting a lot of time. So what all do you read other than your professional books or articles, whatever you required to teach your students? Newspapers, magazines, other than related to your profession?
So apart from my academic subjects, I don't follow the newspapers, but yes, I do follow some informative channels and I do watch some informative videos in YouTube. And in the free time, I used to go through random novels. Like sometimes it can be a motivational novel, and sometimes it can be some business related novel. So yes, I read books whenever I get time, and sometimes it can be just a story book as well. So yes, I do all these things, and now I was having SSB, so I was busy preparing for the SSBs.
Okay. So preparing for SSB, I'm sure must be knowing that you got to know about current affairs also. No?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
what do you think is the most read or most talked about or most interesting news internationally and India in the last few days?
So the most interesting news is of yesterday only. I saw this news yesterday only, like it was in the Hindu analysis. The Lithuania has. Hello.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, sir. So I have heard this news yesterday only that Lithuania has granted permission to Russia to go to Kaliningrad region. So yes, and initially few days back only they declined the Russia to go to that particular area from there by crossing their area, Lithuania. So now they have agreed after this European Council have, talked about this thing to Lithuania. Now they have agreed to pass the Russian to Kaliningrad.
Okay. But why didn't Lithuania a few days
Yes.
back allow Russia to go to their enclave?
Sir, actually, this was all just because of the European Council. European councils have put ears on Lithuania, like Russia is doing all these negative things to Ukraine, and how can you help it in such a critical point? Like, how can you support it going through your path to Kaliningrad? So
Okay,
it was all like this, and
what is
later,
your view on
then
Ukraine
when
war? What is your view on Ukraine war?
sir, my views are, I think Russia is doing it right, because if Russia wouldn't do it, then later on the NATO will take place all over nearby the cover the Russia from all the sides, and it will eventually create a problem to Russia. So Russia is protecting itself. So I think I will favor Russia.
Okay, right. Now, suppose you are going for a trek somewhere around your Uttarakhand. It's the first time you are going, and you're going all alone because you're going to meet some of your maybe relatives or friends, and it's a long trek. During the trek, you find in the hilly area, somebody is following you. What will you do?
Sir, I will stop myself and I will let him pass. If he's following me, then he will also stop nearby me, and I will ask her what is the matter, and I'll just go on my way and he'll just go on his way.
So when you ask him or her, says, how does it bother you? Who are you? What do you think you are? Who are you to question me?
So I'll talk to him politely, like, are you following me, or are you coming with
When
me?
you are starting to
So
talk
I have
again
seen
politely, he gives you a dhap and he says, take out your watch and purse.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The person, when you start talking to him politely, he gives you a dhap. Understand? A slap. And says, give me
Okay.
a watch and purse.
So first of all, what I'll be doing is I'll protect myself. I won't be giving my objects to him, and I will kick him, and I will protect myself, and I will just run away from him.
There is no place to run. He doesn't let you run. He just catches your hand and puts you down on the floor and he says, twist your arm and he says, deta hai, deti hai, nahi.
So for that moment of time, I'll give my watch to him, and when he will take my watch and when he will go, I'll just kick him from the back, and I'll take my watch back and I'll just throw him in the valley. Like in hills, there is downslope as well, so I'll just kick him in that area.
Do you think you'll be able to kick him when he's already put you down and then you get up, give your watch, your purse, and then he's a fool to let you go, kick him?
Yes, sir. Actually, sir, from the very starting only, I won't let him to put me in the ground. I'll make sure that I would overpower him. And
He's
but if
stronger than
yes,
you.
he'll take my word.
He's stronger than you.
No matter, sir, he's just a one person. I think that I'm capable enough to handle one man.
Chalo, good.
So I think I'll.
Good, nice. So now in the where you are teaching, the principal calls you one day and says, okay, you are a good trekker.
Voice is not coming. I'm sorry.
Sorry, you can't hear me? Can you
Hello?
hear me? Hello?
So you.
Hello?
Jyoti,
You are
yeah,
audible.
Jyoti, something wrong with
Sir,
your
you are
side, sir.
audible.
You heard with Jyoti, something wrong with your side. Corrected.
Sir, everything is fine from my side, I think.
Can you
so.
hear me now?
Yeah.
It.
Can
Yes,
you
sir.
hear me
Now
now?
it's audible. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So your principal calls you and asks you to organize a trek for them for about 10 kilometers trek in the, okay? From Jaipur, there are small hills all around close by. So you take them around for about 10-12 kilometers trek so that there is some bonding amongst the students and the staff of the college. Right? Have you understood? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Can you
Hello,
hear me,
sir.
Jyoti?
Yes, yes, sir. You are audible. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Prasad sir, can you hear me?
So you are audible.
You are
to me.
audible. Please go ahead. You are audible. Okay. You are audible. I think Jyoti, please answer the question now.
Jyoti, have you heard me?
Yes, she has heard you.
Okay, go ahead.
Sir, I'll.
But
So
my
I'll talk
question,
to
sorry, my question is not complete. I want you to give me what all planning will you do? How will you do the selection part of it? And how exactly will you conduct the trek? And during the trek, what all will you take care of?
So from Jaipur to from which location I have to go? I have to take them.
You have to select the route. You have to select.
So first of all, I'll take the teachers of my department, and I will take the permission of HOD to include them in that group as well. So I'll make a team of 5 teachers, and then I will come to an idea of, like, I'll select an idea like in which place we'll be taking the students to. And I think in my point of view, Mount Abu is a good location for students to visit in that particular area. It's a very small track and it's very beautiful place. So we'll finalize the Mount Abu as our tracking point, and then we'll be selecting the students for it. Like, we'll be asking everyone, like who all are the participants. Will enroll the participants. We'll make sure that maximum students take part in it. And after the number of students are finalized, then we'll ask for the budget from the university only. The budget will be allocated, and we will take the medicine first aid kit from with us, medicines properly, and we'll keep food items with us, so that in case of an emergency we have our food availability. And we'll also take the undertaking certificate from their parents, undersigned by them, and also inform their parents about our complete track and about our complete trip. Will inform them in a prior notice only. And we'll make sure that before going to the trekking, we'll make sure that each and every student of ours is healthy, fit and fine. He is not having any kind of health problem. And after that particular thing, we'll distribute the students, like group of students, to those 5 teachers. Like 15 students will be handling by this particular faculty, 15 will be handled by this particular faculty, and those faculties will take the responsibility of those 15 students. And will, from the allocated budget only, will be getting the trains booked and the bus facilities booked and the accommodation booked. And if our principal allows us to take the extra money from the students, like for the tracking purpose only, then we'll be taking it, or else it will be funded from the university side only. And once each and everything will be fixed and managed, then we'll take the students in that particular place, and we'll have a tracking, we'll have a good moment there, and we'll come back.
Okay, good. Now tell me about yourself. What do you think are your good qualities? Which are those qualities which you would like to improve upon, and how do you think you'll improve upon them?
Sir, my good qualities are I mingle up easily with people, and I'm very determined towards my work. I do not give up unless until I achieve my goals. And the qualities which I would like to improve upon me is, as my parents have also mentioned this quite a few times, like I have over dependency on mobile phone. So I would like to reduce this thing. And I have a little talkative nature. Whenever I meet friends, and whenever I feel good, like I talk continuously, and I talk a lot in that place. So I would like to reduce my talkative habit. And another thing which I would like to improve upon myself is, whenever I'm focusing into one major task, I tend to lose focus from other small tasks. For that only, I keep notes with me. I mark those points, like I should not miss this point, I should not miss this task. So simultaneously I go accordingly. And yes, many a times when my over involvement is there in the works, my eating schedule gets destroyed, and for that only I have to suffer for quite few days next. So these are the things which I would like to work upon me.
Okay, good. It's been nice talking to you, Jyoti. Is there anything you would like to ask me?
No, sir. Thank you so much. It was nice interviewing by you.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanakadam. I think we have had a very nice session on this. So we'll start with first and foremost, I think who all are there? I think Udyan to Ujjwal. I think let's hear your views.
Good morning, sir. So my name is Ultanshu Ujjwal. I saw ma'am Jyoti ma'am's interview. The one thing that I want to tell her that her organizing ability, she was just first of all, first questions are asked about Fagwada, but ma'am was telling about Jalandhar. So that's attention, lack of attention was there.
So is
Second thing, sir.
Is it organizing ability or your attention? Or what is say? She is not answer the question.
No, sir. First attention.
Yeah.
First and the foremost is attention. And
yeah. So, go ahead.
And the second was, sir, tracking, sir. She was organizing tracking. So, sir, it was not like step by step. First, they have to get the itinerary. Then they have to plan each and every. Okay. Yes, sir. Okay. The flow was not there. That
A should lead to B, isn't it? Event A should. Yes, the flow is missing. Okay. Go ahead. Nice.
Yes, sir.
Any other point? Any other point?
So these are the two main things. No, sir. Sir, and the trekking, sir. Sir, ask about trekking. The route, the basic route where she trekked in her past. Okay, but she was not able to tell the route, exact route.
So, unfortunately, what you want to say that though she has mentioned trekking as extracurricular activities and interests and hobbies, she is not able to justify that, isn't it? So that means that's come
yes,
from some. So that's so you want to say that what she has written, she is not able to justify. As a result, now that goes against her, isn't it? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very nice.
So, yes.
Okay. Sir. Anything else? Okay. Let's have Manisha. Manisha, let's have from you.
Yes, sir. Actually, hi, sir. My name is Manisha. I just even I'm preparing for SSP.
Yeah.
So, sir, I feel that I'm not the right person to say, but I feel that Jyoti has she has those capabilities.
Put on a video, please.
Sir, actually, there's no power here.
Okay, go ahead.
It's a dim room.
Okay, don't worry. Go ahead.
Sir, she has those qualities to become an army officer, but I think she needs to improve. And just whatever she's telling, it should be clear, and so the other person can understand it without any.
So what is the point? What point you want to make?
So just to be more confident while speaking.
So means she was underconfident, is it?
Sir, not that much, but partially.
Are she underconfident, overconfident, or confident? Now tell me what.
Sir, I felt a bit underconfident only.
Underconfident. Okay.
Yeah,
why do you say?
I think, sir, she can improve it. Sir.
So how do you say that she was underconfident?
She was not sure about for few questions she was answering.
So that doesn't mean that you're not answering a question. That may be that doesn't show that you're underconfident, isn't it?
Sir, yeah.
If I know a thing, I don't know a thing. That's the end of it. Yes. How do you say that you said underconfident? Why underconfident? We should be able to analyze that.
I felt like the way she was answering, so that's
it. That's the way. That's okay. That's the reason for it. Then you find out where the underconfidence comes into play.
Sir, I feel. Sir, okay,
think it over. We'll come back to you. Now, Kritika, let's have it.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
So to me, it was a fine interview, and at some places I noticed she was a bit over elaborating things.
So is going beyond the question.
Yes, sir, beyond what is asked.
So
yes, sir.
She went beyond the question we asked. So she should have stuck to the question that is directed to the question that we asked, isn't it? This is what you want to say.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next.
Yes.
I am the person to left, no, sir.
Sir,
the negative regarding this her interview is that she was lacking coherence throughout. Her motivation was still not very clear. The learning she had, despite being kid of army person, her motivation and learning was not that good.
So first and foremost, let's understand what do you mean by coherence?
Coherence, that means there should be a flow. I mean, whenever she was answering any questions, it was not connected. It was just going
disconnected. Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Next. The learning as a child, she had been part of the uniform people around, and she couldn't afford to answer that question. They wanted to say.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
And then,
next.
sir, her motivation to join forces. I mean, it was very clear that despite being in army, her motivations would have been, the camaraderie, the pride. These things would have been there. The learning opportunity they get.
Okay,
It was
fairness,
all about this
she kept on talking about
materialistic
perks,
motivation
perks.
was there.
So these material perks, facility which are available around the writing facility, all that she kept on
Yeah.
talking about those particular trivials which are that is supposed to be the perks and facility which are available, isn't it? Okay, this is what you can say.
Yes, sir.
Okay, anything else?
Yes. Apart from this, I mean, when it was, I mean, apart from CIQ, PIQ, the questions were there like whenever there was some SRT. In my opinion, she handled very well. Tracking points, she could have answered a bit more properly, but it was, in my opinion, it was okay. So
First,
handling this,
let me just say it is not. They are all not SRTs. That is the first. Let's come back. It is not SRT. They are the doubts with the interviewing
okay,
officer
okay,
has.
sir. Okay,
So let's not.
I'll come to that, sir. She
Let's
has
not-
a courage. She has a courage. I don't have any doubt regarding the same. She has a courage. I mean, there is courage is point that come out today that I agree.
Okay. What is the problem? These questions are framed only to check back certain doubts which the interviewing officer has. He wants to clarify, which he couldn't afford to get through the normal answers around there.
Yes, sir. I don't want to.
So they are not SRT. SRT are supposed to separate issue by itself. Okay. Anything else? Bolo.
No, sir. No, sir. I mean, I don't wanted to get into the idea of SRT. I just told that SRT she answered well in comparison to her PIQ questions.
Okay, done. Anything else?
No, sir. I mean, that is it. The rest point being talkative and less attentive has been mentioned by the previous speakers.
Okay. Now, first and foremost, let me just say before I hand over to Captain Sisi round, I just want to let me have them because they are all professional. I would not like to get into the mood and the system on that. Okay. First and foremost, she started with the rightly put because she was asked for Phagwara and she kept on going. She never talked about Phagwara itself. Even if she talked about the Jalandhar is supposed to be a sports city, and a sports city, there's supposed certain teams and other things are there. She could have been much more elaborative about it. And having spent what 4 or 5 years, she should have been better placed to answer those questions. Next comes back talking about the lovely university. It's a private university. And only thing that shows the bias only because she has joined that university and she wants to rationalize that her choice of joining the university was the best that is available. 2 years that she has spent joining, preparing for the IIT and then joining a private university at that particular place. This indicates that her performance has not been adequate at all. Secondly, around there, so then choosing and rationalizing the lovely university that is one of the best universities. When you Google around there, lovely university started, they were supposed to lovely their sweets. They are supposed to feed people who is to keep supplying sweets all around. Suddenly they have become like the Golgotha and Son, they used to sell books and they have become a Golgotha University. That's okay. That's nothing wrong with the university, has done well. I have got no problem with it. But the way that she is put across, the lovely is supposed to be one of the best university and she is very proud of joining it. That itself is questionable around there. Secondly, getting a scholarship 1 lakh rupees only because after having got 58% in ECE or engineering, and then getting 1 lakh university, and that's the reason she had joined MBA there. That's again, it probably puts a doubt into my mind. That's my personal view. Now, see, in the very first CIQ, she jumps the question around there. She was asked very question. She has the tendency to jump. Then he has talked about then he talks about the friends and restrictions. The reasons they were friends, they said they are good. They are just support. She could not afford to give reason why they are friends. What are the qualities that she was looking around for? Only because they were all preparing for SSB doesn't mean they become a friend. Friendship requires something beyond that. Okay, so this is something which have to be understood. So they have to reason why do you want to have friends. Something आंगन कुटी छपाई. This is what it says. आप अपने दोस्त रखो जो आपको मदद करे, आपके बुरे वक्त में साथ हो और अच्छे वक्त में और आपकी गलतियों को बताए. निंदक नियरे राखी आंगन कुटी छपाई. This is what we say about it. That has to be understood. So that's she couldn't afford to tell anything about the friends why they are there. And she herself is telling about, no, you're yourself putting foot in your mouth, say, I couldn't afford to manage my time, lack of sincerity, lack of self management. So all this puts you into off. You have to have a logical reason for it. Probably when you got involved, so you're putting yourself itself, putting your foot in your mouth and selling that, and the interviewing officer has got no time to go beyond that. Firstly, he has looked at your PIQ. Very first thing should have been, your PIQ should have been improved by now, which you have not done till now. In 7 days, very first thing which you have done, you should have done what? Redesign your PIQ itself. Even if you have not taken part in, you only said that you take part in debate and analysis, that is what the extracurricular activity is. You don't know go beyond that. If you are taking, it is not necessary go and participate at the national or international level. Even if you participate in a school, class, and all levels, certain amount of activity which are involved, it is aimed to how do you fit in the team. That is what it is to convey. The social adaptive cooperation, that is what you're trying to talk about it. That is a human aspect of it. That is where it comes into play. And what are the roles that you play? They are the, no, they are, that's the reason these questions are being asked. The jumping, we have already talked about it then. And then you talked about, when you talked about your interaction with the parents, you're totally sketchy. Totally sketchy. You couldn't afford to bring out even once that we are very much, you've got a coherent, is a good family relations exist. You simply talked about, yes, we go for running together. My father is a good athlete. I go for running with him, and I go for what for that the running, and then he's teaching you driving. That's not the issue. He says, how do you get involved in the day-to-day activity at your home? How do you interact with them? What are the reasons? What are the questions? How do you interact? That is the question which has to be answered, which you couldn't afford to do that. Okay. Then you talk about not arrange and not father's joys. You know, what I couldn't afford to understand what is there. Then you talk to a brother. I go for, whenever I find, I go for cycling with him. You go for running with your father. You go for cycling with your brother. I teach him something around there. That's the end of it. You can, that's what the relationship aim is to what? Social adaptability. How are you able to adapt to the home environment? Are you a part of the family? If yes, how effective are you contributing towards the group? Group effectiveness. That is what is the way you should be involved. What are they? You should be involved through heart, to the task, and to the people. So nobody, this particular thing is comes from there. And you should be able to contribute towards the group aim. What is the group aim? The family. Family must survive. What is your contribution to that? You couldn't afford to talk about it. Okay. Then again, then you talked about when you were answering the question that you couldn't afford to apply for FCAT and naval entry scheme. That's very nice that you, because 60%. But what prevented you from applying for CDS? You didn't answer that question. CDS you could have answered. You could have done it. Through CDS also people join because you didn't appear for the written test. Okay. Then you've got a dependent look after. So they can good by say they say as security and good pay. They are the three things you said. What that good about the services? It provides security. Then it is a good pay. Then dependents are looked after. So they are the very trivial aspect as a motivator to join services. If you got to look after it, you are becoming a normal job seeker. This army is not a place for the job seekers. See, in spite of the fact that you remain with the services, rightly put to Nikhil, you have been with the services and you couldn't afford it. They are the reasons you are talking about. You got perks, you are a good place, you got riding and all. So if that is the case, pay for it and join the clubs. You got better facility available. Why do you want services? Absolutely irresponsible that you can't afford them. Then you got a reputation of thought. You already talked restaurant. You love to go to restaurants. You have talked earlier also when with the friends and with the parents. So I want to go to love for parents. That's the only activity you are involved with. What is this happening around there? In spite of you should have understood. Now it is the how to interact in the family affair. How are you the part of the decision maker? What are your contribution towards the family? When you are home or when you are out of home? Okay, so then you said then you talked about trekking and all. You just again the falsehood. So you have put is you simply give me a total come what you are trying to know. Befool the people down there by putting trekking is a hobby. Nowhere you could sustain that trekking is your hobby. You have how many times? You say when you are going for parents' house, how many times have you been to your parents' house? And we call that a trekking. What is hobby? That you must understand there's a difference between interest, hobby. First, you have to be interest. And interest get developed in hobby. Hobby in turns get amateur. Amateur gets a professional. This is how the hierarchy goes. And if you go for trekking, what say twice in a year, and say hobby my trekking, but that's sad. And very coolly you said I never did read newspaper. I do it through my mobile. I am very updated. That's not the way. No anything lack of reading ability. That is questions of reasoning ability, organizing ability, and the effective intelligence. Then coming back to even the negative bias, you got I say then motivation about that. Then you talked about the Russia and all. It gives it's a biases. You got a certain amount of biases are there with you. You have got certain fixed idea that is strong likes. They seem to have likes and dislikes like a strong under the system. Okay. Then you talked about the news when you asked what is the latest news in international and national. Then you talked about Lithuania. Okay, fair enough. That is the point that the passage. Is it important today? Something happened across near a neighborhood. Is it not important? Is it not affecting you? Just tell me yes or no. Something about India, you didn't even talk about what the news available, which is currently available. Even probably you could have even talked about the president's election is one of the key things which is happening in the country today. Is it not an event? Is it not even something what is happening in the all these particular things are happening in across the world, Rajasthan to everywhere? Is it not an event? Political instability in Maharashtra, is it not an event? So if you don't get involved with that, and what does it indicate? It simply indicates that you're not in it. Okay, then that is what is talked about it. Then you did talk about the handled very well that that one of the situations that was provided, you did try to come stronger. That shows that you are fair enough. That is, but I take risk-taking capability is questionable. You don't take risk. Why did I say that? Because now when we're talking about the trekking, tracking to your Mount Abu, you have talked about that I would be taking the first aid kit, I will be taking undertaking for the parents. Means you will never take risk. And that means that those the courage that you have shown, physical courage that you have shown, that you will really fight with the person who's trying to hold you. That's one aspect. But here it gives a total indicator that you are a person who will never take risk at all. You want to be safe and you want to protect it, and you don't want to take risk. Okay. Organizing ability, then we are over dependent. Probably you yourself talking what he asked you, checking your weaknesses and strengths. You talked about, you could have talked to very simple, I'm sociable, but at no places you say you from the school days right to the college to the faculty you are in, you didn't talk about number of friends, number of people involved into it. So how do you say you are sociable? Only because you say you are sociable doesn't mean that you are sociable. Secondly, you are talking determined. How do you say which instance shows me that you are only because you are running your marathon. A marathon, you never marathon, you say only half marathon, you have to run only thrice. That does not indicate determination. Determination is persistence with which you pursue a goal. That's how determine persistent perseverance with which you pursue a goal. It's a determination. King Bruce and the spider, Ghazni and Somnath, they are the right example for those particular things available. Next, coming back to your shortcomings. So shortcomings, you already talked about. I'm over dependent on mobile. Well, part of it, that's okay. I accept it on the talkative, lose focus. Why do you say lose focus? That you are saying, why should you ask for it? If you are telling yourself that I'm not fit for it, why should services take you? So now, worthy. So overall looks around there. I'll just before I hand over to Captain Sisi around there, some of the points last time we had the interview around there. I'll just show it to some if I recollect back something about it. I'll just hold on. Last time they are the some of the points. If I recollect back around there, I think Captain Sisi was available. General awareness and knowledge of service is still questionable. Reasoning ability is still questionable. Fast speaking, probably you have taken control of it. That's this okay. Repetition of certain words and certain ideas. It comes again. Restaurant. You kept talking about it. Missing CIQ come there. Mathematical reasoning, you missed out from the anxiety still persists. Extracurricularity, you couldn't afford to go out. Motivation, join service, it is not indicative. Low and less attention, talkative and verbose still remains to some extent around there. There are some of the reasons which I couldn't afford to talk about again. There were others also. Just let me see if I can afford to come back. Then he says, looking at, as I said, looking at a PIQ itself. Looking at PIQ itself, since you have gone down your academic performance, you ought to do extremely well. It is at concern. Interview is at a conscious domain. If it is a conscious domain, if you think rightly, you can be fooled and interviewing also. It is the simplest thing available on the earth. I always maintain, if you behave like a god, give him an ideal answer. No one prevent you to do that. If you can do that, fair enough. If you can't do it, I'm not trying to tell you that you should really no. So because it is easiest, and he is the most lenient person out of the three. He is the person who passes more so that at least conducts come under discussion. And he will interviewing also in the company. He tells, gentlemen, though I shouldn't have passed, he still passes so that at least he comes to discussion. Sometimes he passes some kind with a lot of negativity also, so that there's certain amount of learning goes on in the conference hall also. And some of the people pass by default at that particular time also. That's also because some of the angularity which comes into play, that is the time interviewing also brings out those particular qualities also, because that has to be certain amount of learning for the member and the board also, because every day is a learning phenomenon, every candidate is different. Okay. Then rationalization was the phenomenon last time. You have not understood that the first it is a check of personality. And you have to, and recollect, I said you must clean up your personality with the strongest detergent available, Nirma powder. And that is, and what is personality? The way we feel, think, act, and behave. And man, it's not one day affair. And problem, you feel that you are not doing well in interview. 99.99% I can tell you there's a grave problem lies somewhere else in the psychology. Because it is not the psychology, what is it? What is it? I say our life is made of storytelling. Every day, every moment of life, I'm telling a story because it's event which is past. What interview also asking? He's asking about the past. He's not asking anything new. And if you cannot tell your own story, then follow yours. He's in a conscious domain, he's asking you. Isn't it? So these are the broadly, I feel you have to take control yourself. It's a learning phenomena. It's a learning phenomena, and you can be rest assured that what we are trying to tell you is for your good. Okay. Now let's substitute for it. Okay.
Kadam, sir.
Okay. Kadam, I think
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jyoti, the best part of your interview I liked was your courage part. You will make your family proud. God forbid you get into such a ruckus, a physical, I would say. I'm sure your dad will be very proud of you. Right. Now, aim of our debriefing is to give you maximum input so that you can improve a lot. Right? Because you are so qualified, but that thing should come in your responses. And that is what an interviewing officer expects. If I have to interview a 12th pass average student for NDA, There are certain answers which he gives, I just overlook that. Well, he's just 12th class. He doesn't have exposure in the world. He's still pampered at home. He's still a kid. In your case, it's not the case. You have done engineering, you have done MBA, and you are working also. So with that experience, maturity, everything should have come. Now, generally speaking, overall in the interview, you haven't got the essence of the questions. Either you have not heard the question, or you have not applied your mind to that question, or you are using whatever you learned in MBA in the wrong way, as to have to answer this question somehow and confidently with your speaking ability. That's not required. What is required is the essential. What is, if I ask you what you learn from the army, the first thing, even a civilian who is not even thinking of joining army, is a businessman, from that family, businessman family, you will say discipline bahut acha hota hai udhar. First thing, they're very well organized. They are very disciplined.
Sir, at least, sir, at least he said that is the dress both smart hai, sir. I'm attracted towards the dress.
Yes.
So you have to understand the essence of the question. What is the aim of this question? And you have to analyze your life, and accordingly you have to go through your mind interview. Even if you go through the previous interview, this interview, you have to answer yourself. If same question asked to a 8th class pass student, will you answer the same thing which you have answered? A chap, a civilian background with 12th class, will he give a better answer? And what should be that answer is important as per what we are trying to look into. You is a future army officer after training. Like courage you have got, but there are a lot of reasoning ability, there are a lot of other qualities which we are looking for. So just courage may turn out to be foolishness later if you don't have proper reasoning ability or such like things. Okay, organizing ability or anything. If you had heard about me, say if I ask about Pagra, if you tell me about Jalandhar, it's okay. I do not penalize you much for it. But what I expect from a 12th class pass for NDA entry, and what from you, you should be more organized in your answer. Say starting with history, industry, the people, the culture, the education, the sightseeing locations around. It's maybe geographical location earlier. This is what an MBA person should answer. Okay, and who stayed there for 5 years. And then lovely university is not far off from there. Okay, are you getting it? My aim is to put it in your mind as to how you should be answering. Answering is not enough. Confidently. Though somebody commented underconfident, I'm not saying underconfident. You're confident, but you're not having the meat in that answer, that what is expected out of you. Got it? And if you had done that, 5 SSBs, if you had analyzed yourself, I'm sure you would have, or you will do it now, you'll get past it. Now, family events and all, going to restaurant, I don't think a childish person says is okay. Going to restaurant is a family. It doesn't talk good about you. Okay? Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. Then you're trying to join the armed forces and any defense-related international events. The event you should be talking about, not Lithuania. It has got nothing to do much with the war part of it. Ukraine views you have just given in a very short. I am with Russia. I'm not asking whether you are with Russia or not. That could be one of the points why Russia could justify it. But then you will have to justify why are you with Russia, because so many people killed, so much food crisis, energy crisis in Europe, all over the world. So you have to get to that level as per your age. If I talk at my level, maybe different, but your level also, you should be able to talk about the humanitarian aspect a lot. Future of Ukraine, the kids, the refugees, all these, Sri Lanka. So current affairs you will have to be, and there's going to be definitely you'll be grilled on current affairs, which gives out lot to the interviewing officer. It will come in other aspects also, like GTO tasks also, current affairs. There's a topic you'll have to see. So you'll have to keep reading newspapers, especially the editorial, because there are learned people who write editorials and they write from all angles. So you must have a viewpoint from all angles and form your own opinion after that, right? Just seeing some videos on YouTube is not enough. I don't think so. I don't. You are new generation. You don't believe in newspapers and all magazines, but YouTube may be limited. I'm not much into YouTube. I don't know what all current affairs who all discusses on YouTube. Anyway, now even trekking. I'm quite sure I've done so many. Even the 12th class chap organizes trekking or things like that much better than what MBA is expected of. So, so the gap is a hell of a lot. You'll have to give to a thought. You must listen. What all planning will you give? Give 1, 2, 3, 4 point planning. How actual conduct I'll conduct it like this. Around, I specifically mentioned around Jaipur, there are some small hills. You just trekking it not be only climbing up and down. You can be going around a hill, along from point A to point B, may not be hilly area, maybe plain area, maybe a little bit going up and maybe in jungles. Okay.
I'll just button, sir. Your aim was it is for bonding. That we have asked whether we want to
I said that also.
And he has very clearly said that this trekking for bonding, not for trekking. It is not for checking your stamina.
Because otherwise the principal has no aim of sending you all on trekking unless it's a PT school, the physical training, some institute. Okay. So that questions you have to pay attention what is being asked. And your stamina has to increase mentally to listen till the end. I wonder whether you are still in the receptive mood or not.
She has become a teacher.
Yes, sir, I am.
You are good.
She has become a teacher now. It's a professor. A professor will never listen to his students, isn't it? She is always impatient.
No, sir. It's not like this, sir. It's not like this.
I just jokingly, I don't know, thanks. I just jokingly, I said, don't worry. It is, you
now
have to be patient. What is the impatience?
Going through all the, you have it in you, but you have to polish yourself. Work hard, not just seeing the interview, work hard on getting onto the meat part of it. We in the interviewing officer, we try to read the book. You are a book. If you give me only superfluous look only in the the cover of the book and everything, first class, that doesn't. We want to read what is there inside. Jyoti based, what is she like? Like you brought out clearly in the courage stage, a lot of boys also didn't answer like this. To this, most of the time I ask the same question, but you did it. I liked it. Be proud of yourself and little bit attention, concentration, and getting into the meat as per your age. Okay, you're 25 almost, with so much of experience and so much of education, you have to justify that. Yes, you have made use of that. Opportunities given by the army, your parents, everything. That's all from my side. Anything you want to ask further?
Just before you add up, sir, I think Jyoti, I think we have tried to say nothing to demotivate you. You have got enough capability in yourself. You have done well. You in spite of the fact you went down in engineering college, you have got something to your credit. You have done your net. You have already become a professor. You already done MBA. So you have got enough credential to yourself. Everything, we cannot afford to have everything right in our life. It is a question of what is the corrective measures you have taken. You have taken the corrective measures. So don't worry about it. You have to be confident of whatever you are. You are. There's nothing to hide, nothing to seek, nothing to be ashamed about it. You are what you are. And you are confident you can afford to do it. Reading is a great habit. Yeah, even if you don't at our stage, let me just tell you today, when I sit and talking to you, there will not be a day, at least an hour I would be spending on the technique that I teach. Let me just say today also. You must have seen so many slides shared, I keep on doing because it is just too until I read, I'll get outdated. So reading is a great habit. Please pick up this habit around there. And secondly, try and live. You are in the world. You must really analyze the world correctly and pick up the right people, right friend, right people, right attitude. That is good. Now you've got a great, you're in a profession which is good. If you can join services, we will be very happy about it. And you've got enough capability, you can always make it. It is up to you to decide how well are you going to utilize this opportunity. Okay? Based upon this, we are all open. Any question anyone has habit, we are all there to answer. Anyone? First and foremost, Jyoti, let me have your views first.
So my justification for my percentage decreased in BTech. So wasn't it sufficient?
No, I will not.
I mean,
I will not.
May I, sir? May I just answer that? Jyoti, listen.
Good morning, sir.
Hi. You first of all, like I'll tell you, you have shown remarkable improvement than what you did the first time with Kadam sir. So I think I'll give compliment to you as well as sir also. Aspect which you asked a question is that, sir, what happens to my performance in engineering? What does it tell you? It may tell you that you chose a wrong field. It may tell you that maybe you were made to be a good MBA or a teacher or something. You know, at that point of time, we didn't know. So what sirs are trying to tell you is that you got to do those self-analysis that way. We are not asking justification. We are not asking rationalization. That is what Prasad sir was mentioning to you. हो सकता है कि 10th का maths was different from 12th maths. हो सकता है, I don't know. But the answer lies with you. Nobody is asking you to justify or rationalize it.
Jyoti, no one asks you to say, why did you? It is a history. It is gone. It cannot be changed. And I have to justify what it changed. What Colonel Kadam has always, we have all been maintaining around there. Nothing wrong in falling. But it is not rising after falling is a crime. In your case, you have fallen, you've gone down, and you have risen up. So you should be proud of what you are. Why should you bother about that question on there? It can be, as you rightly put across, in engineering college, I'll tell you on there, from 12th to engineering college, it's a big change. You start for applied mathematics, applied physics, applied chemistry. There is no time for people to think. Before you think engineering drawing, engineering system comes, and a lot many people have the problem. Not only you, a lot many people have got a problem. And if you lag about the first 2 semesters, there's a difficult to cover it back again. So there's nothing wrong with this. What is there? Engineering is a fundamental. So if you've got 59, you should not be ashamed of it. It's a matter of thing. It happens.
देखिए, आपका सबसे बड़ा एंशियस का कारण ही यही है कि अब भी आप एंशियस रह रहे हो कि मेरे उस परफॉर्मेंस पे अगर कोई पूछेगा तो मैं क्या जवाब दूंगी. You know, you got to come out of that. आपका एंजाइटी जो है वो हर जगह प्ले हो रहा था पूरे इंटरव्यू में, टू द थिंग दैट इवन आई फेल्ट कि एट द एंड ऑफ इट योर मेंटल स्टैमिना वाज लास्ट टाइम आल्सो डाउन, दिस टाइम आल्सो इट वाज डाउन. एंड इसी वजह से यू आर बिकमिंग वर्बोस. मतलब क्वेश्चन कुछ था, रेलेवेंस टू द क्वेश्चन वाज समथिंग एल्स एंड यू वेंट इनटू अ डिफरेंट थिंग. You know that anxiety without realizing is overshadowing your entire personality. You are trying to now impress upon someone. Either ways, even on your negative side, sir, I'm addicted to phone. Now, once you know that you are addicted to phone, you know you're 24-year-old, what have you done? That awareness is there. So what have you done? What have you created for yourself? My mother says I'm constantly addicted to phone and spend time. I'm aware that I do this. I need to improve this. What have you done? Improvement does not happen. Someday it will happen. It happens now in the moment.
Colonel Kadam always says, if you have done a mistake, what is the corrective measures you have undertaken? That's all. You have to show it to that sort.
Bas.
You have to show the corrective measures. Yes, I'm addicted to phone, and now I'm trying to restrict myself to 2 hours a day of what is 1 week to relevance. I'm improving. खत्म हो गया काम.
क्योंकि वो आपके आंसर ही नहीं आए. क्योंकि जैसे सर ने बताया अभी, प्रसाद सर ने, वो तो आंसर है ही नहीं आपका. You continued, I'm addicted to phone. Mother continued. strength and weakness, it continues, and it's open-ended. So just try and see, this is about not a job interview. I don't know, I mean, some of my seniors are here. What I'm trying to say is that you're not seeking a job. You're not impressing Kadam sir. So you have to be, those questions have to be understood well and responded not in a false way or a putting up an impression. It's not required. आप rationalize कर रहे हो हर चीज को, आप अभी भी डर रहे हो, your anxiety is still going on, and as a result you're missing on CIQs. You didn't speak about your teachers. He asked you a very important question आपके गुरु के बारे में. Which are the teachers who liked the most and who did not impress you much? You forgot. You forgot to mention about the qualities of friends. Restaurant, bar jana is an outing. That's not the quality. What you like in them is the question. So what was it? There was nothing. It was more about your group activity which you described. But the question was what you liked in them. So ये जो anxiety आपकी चलती है background में, ये किसी कारणवश है, which Prasad sir was saying you need to really understand your psychology, why it happens. That is creating the thing. Otherwise, sir लोग ने काफी अच्छा advice दिया. I mean, I'm telling you, like very, very कहते हैं ना सीधा beaker के अंदर funnel डाल के drop से पूरा. So that is all I would say. But certainly there is an improvement from last time.
Okay.
This I will say.
One thing I have to say, one more thing, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, her closest to almost each answer was not good. So it was abrupt ending. That she also need to change.
Not
It was
that-
just because of anxiety. कि बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन का जो एंड था ना, it was abruptly. So that she also need to keep in mind.
That is very, देखो ऐसा abrupt ending होता है, देखो ऐसा आना. You have to answer to the point. Listen to the question, answer the point. Why should you answer? There is nothing great about it. Answer जो question उसका जवाब दो यार. उसे ज़्यादा जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. You restrict to only to that. What is being asked for it? Why should I go beyond it?
हाँ, अब वो लिथुनिया वाला जबरदस्ती का इसने अपने खुद को ही हिट विकेट किया इसने. She asked, sir ने open-ended question छोड़ा था for her. She could have played it on her strength. Anything he had said. सर ने तो कोई भी ये जजमेंट करने नहीं बोला था सर को कि मुझे कल का ही बताओ या आज सुबह का अखबार बताओ. Kadam sir just asked a question, a very open-ended, which she could have taken advantage of for her strength, but her anxiety took it to the other level.
Okay.
And Manisha had asked that question, confidence and underconfidence, or somebody was there. Now you just think about it, an anxious person is confident or underconfident, and I leave it to that.
Okay. Any question now? Bolo, Jyoti, any other question, your side?
No, sir, everything is clear.
Okay, there's a phenomenon called love self. Love thyself.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Love thyself. Love yourself. What I said? You are what you are.
Hello?
You are. Can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Hello.
We can hear you, strength 5, sir.
Okay, so I think there is
Yes, sir.
something. Okay. What I'm trying
Hello,
to tell
sir?
say, yeah. Now, Jyoti, what I'm trying to tell you, love yourself. What you are a unique person. And God has made every person unique. And your uniqueness should remain there. You have got everything in making. You can do well in life. And God bless you, provided you take lesson. Every day, there's a famous Sinoki, every day is a learning game. If you don't learn, the mistakes will repeat till such time you learn it. So it forces you to learn yourself.
Yes.
That is the one of those presentations I have centered on that. You won't have seen. I say the mistakes which you repeat will keep repeating till such time you improve upon it. It will not leave you. Okay. So what I say, love yourself. You are good. Nothing wrong with you. Analyze yourself. Take corrective measures. Work on your strength. Okay. Any other question?
Yes.
I think we all, any other person has anything to clarify? No? So I must thank Colonel Kadam for sparing his valuable time and giving a valuable input. And thank you to Captain Cecil for giving valuable input around there. And all our friends, Nikhil and all people around there. Let's hope it's always a good learning from every day is a new day for us. And
we also learn a lot, sir.
We always every interview
We also learn.
Every interview has been probably unique by itself.
Yes,
And
sir.
fortunately, unfortunately, when we post it around there onto the web, lot many people probably can take advantage of that. That's the aim of that. Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot, all of you.
It is.
Thank you. Thank you.
It is.
Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.